This is the new Kia Telluride, and for the 2023 model year, it gets a few design updates outside and some upgrades inside. It also gets two new off-road focused trims called X-Line and X Pro. So now you don't have to worry when driving over that patch of grass that you're always afraid of when taking your kids to soccer practice. My name is Omar, and this is the 2023 Kia Telluride. KN is not a brand, so stop Googling it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I really like Kia's new logo, but I totally agree that it looks like KN, and I get why everyone is Googling what is KN car. And honestly, I think it's a huge win for Kia. With all these people searching the KN car brand, it's bringing them more eyeballs than ever. Now let's get to the 2023 Kia Telluride. Since this thing went on sale in 2020, it's been a huge hit, and Kia dealers just can't seem to keep this on their lots. And of course, they're selling for well above MSRP. Over 93,000 people bought a Telluride in 2021, and just under 100,000 bought one in 2022, which is really impressive. Nonetheless, that's still well behind the segment leaders like the Honda Pilot and the Toyota Highlander. So, what has Kia done for 2023 to make the Telluride more attractive? Well, not too much. It kind of reminds me of that scene from the interview where James Franco goes, "We are the same, but different, but still same." You still don't have a hybrid Telluride or any sort of electrification. Power still comes from the 3.8-liter V6 from the last model, making a total of 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. So if you're looking for any sort of electrification from the Telluride, don't. Hang tight for the upcoming fully electric Kia EV9, which should debut in the next few months. If you do want a hybrid from Kia, consider looking at the Sportage Hybrid. That's actually pretty awesome, but how does this drive? It's pretty solid, just like it always was. The day-to-day ride quality is pretty smooth, and it doesn't feel as large as a drive as the competition. In fact, I feel like the Telluride is a bit simpler to drive than the Hyundai Palisade, which is the Telluride's sibling. See, that's the thing I love about three-row SUVs or crossovers like this. They don't feel too heavy or large to drive around. As soon as you hop into something like the Chevy Tahoe or the GMC Yukon, it's almost like you're driving around in a really big house. The transmission is smooth when it comes to the gear changes, but I will say that it hangs onto the revs a little longer under hard acceleration. Now, this engine isn't outstandingly quick. I would like a little bit more power from this, but that's the case with all of the three-row SUVs in this segment. You do have a few drive modes in here, including Smart, Sport, Comfort, Eco, and then the all-wheel drive models get Snow and all-wheel drive Lock. Let's pop it in Sport mode and hit the gas and see what happens. Yeah, it's not insanely quick, but it's quick enough for your daily drive. 0 to 60 for the Telluride comes in at around 7 seconds, which, yeah, makes sense. Again, for 2023, you have two new trims called X-Line and X Pro that you can add on to the EX and the two SX trims. Both of those get an extra 0.4 inches of ground clearance for a total of 8.4. They also get better approach and departure angles and a tow mode. The X-Line can tow up to 5,000 pounds, while the X Pro can tow an extra 500. Not to mention, both trims make the Kia Telluride look cooler and tougher. That said, let's talk about the exterior design changes for the 2023 model year. Besides getting rid of the old Kia logo and going for the KN logo, the Telluride gets new headlamps, which look really cool, but definitely not as cool as the ones on the outgoing model with the amber daytime running lights. Not sure what Kia was thinking here. Personally, I think that's a bigger mistake than the whole KN logo mishap. Those amber daytime running lights were the coolest thing to happen to this segment in a long time, but they are now gone. But yeah, LED headlamps and daytime running lights are now standard across the board on all Telluride trims, and you still have the cool amber color, but only when you turn on the turn signals. Other than that, from the front, all Telluride trims get a few nip tucks here and there. The X-Line and the X Pro get their own cool blacked out version of the Tiger Nose grille because, you know, the off-roading life calls for you to look tougher and more blacked out. The other blacked out part here is that the X-Line gets 20-inch black wheels while the X Pro gets 18-inch black wheels. And since the X Pro that I'm driving here is a little bit more pro at off-roading, it gets 18-inch Continental all-terrain tires. Now, I'm not sure how much more they're going to help you on your next all-terrain adventure, but they do look cool. I'm sorry, I just can't imagine anyone that's into any kind of off-roading going for a Kia Telluride. It seems to be the cool thing to do nowadays, where automakers offer a more rugged version of a three-row family crossover, and looks-wise, I'm here for it, but capability-wise, I really don't think it makes that much of a difference for you to go for a rugged off-road version of a regular family SUV or crossover. Now, from the back, the Telluride looks pretty much the same as the outgoing Telluride. The taillights have been revised according to Kia, but you won't be able to tell unless you really look at them side by side. Oh, and of course, the X Pro and the X Line get their own badging on the back, and they also get raised roof rails in case you want to throw some cargo up there. That said, let's talk about the interior. And honestly, Honda and Toyota, I love you guys, but you guys really need to step your game up when it comes to interior design, comfort, and convenience, because Kia and Hyundai aren't playing any games. This is an outstanding place to be. It doesn't feel like an interior from a mainstream brand at all. Design-wise, this feels like something that you would find in a luxury brand. The quality is also really solid. Of course, you do have some hard plastics here and there, but overall, it's very impressive in here. My test model here also has some nice wood accent trim. It's not real wood, but it looks and feels like it. You get vegan leather or Syntex seats on the LX and the S trim, but as soon as you hit the EX trim, you start getting leather seats. And then if you go for the SX Prestige, like the one I'm driving here, you get Nappa leather seats in a mainstream automobile. Now, power front seats for both the driver and the passenger become standard on the EX trims and above. And not only that, the EX trim is where you start getting things like heated and ventilated seats as standard, along with a heated steering wheel. And that's very, very impressive. The EX trim is like the third trim of the Telluride. By the way, I love the placement of these heated and cool seats and the controls for it. They're very easy to use, and it makes the interior look really, really classy. Dual zone climate control is standard for the two front passengers on all trims, but if you go for the SX or the SX Prestige, that will give you a rear climate zone as well to keep the passengers in the second and third row comfortable. But yeah, this interior is definitely one of the best in this segment, even after being pretty much the same since 2020. If I was Honda or Toyota, I'd be stressing out a little and putting in some more time into my design and comfort, but that's just me. Now, when it comes to tech, Kia updated the interior of the Telluride with this giant panoramic curved section that consists of two 12.3-inch screens. You have this center display that houses the infotainment system, and it's the same system we've been seeing on newer Kia models. It's very easy to navigate and get around, but you don't have wireless Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto. In fact, if you want to use any smartphone connectivity, you have to plug in with the USB-A cable. I'm not sure why Kia hasn't figured out the whole wireless thing yet, but yeah, other than that, you do get a navigation system as standard, so that's a nice touch. Now, as for this digital gauge cluster, it's very nice and sharp and really informative, but you don't get a map view or anything fancy like that at all. It does do some cool animations as you circle through your drive modes, but that's really about it. By the way, this full color 12.3-inch gauge cluster is only available on the two SX trims. The other trims get a watered down version of this. Now, the cool thing is that if you go for this upgraded digital gauge cluster display, you get my favorite Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis feature, and that's these blind spot cameras right here. I gotta tell you, this is one of the most useful safety features I've seen in a very long time. Speaking of safety, let's talk driver assist tech really quick, because all trims of the Telluride come really well equipped. You get adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and all the other alerts and assists that you'll need. All of that is standard as a part of Kia's DriveWise system. Now, as you move up trim levels, you do get some extra touches, like a really strong camera game with a 360 surround view, and even this 3D view that looks really cool. And this is one of the quickest functioning 3D image views that I've seen in a long time. Like, even luxury brands have ones that are really slow, but this one is really quick and very clear. Oh, and the other screen that you have in here is this whole rear view camera mirror thing right there. Quick pause over here. I totally forgot to mention that this has highway driving assist too, with smart cruise control that's navigation based, so this will automatically adjust the speed if it senses a curve coming up on the road ahead. Not only that, this has lane change assist, so this will help you automatically switch lanes just by you hitting the signal left or right. Now back to the video. So yeah, so far so good. The interior is totally killing it when it comes to design, comfort, and tech. But what about practicality? Let's pull over and check out the practicality in here. It's crazy windy outside, so let's get inside and kick off the practicality side of things by checking out the second row. Once you get back here, you're working with a total of 42.4 inches of legroom. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position. As you can see, I've got plenty of room. Now, you can also slide the second row forward and back if you need more legroom for yourself or the third row passengers. Not to mention, you can also recline the second row if you want and kick back and chill. Now, second row captain chairs are optional for an extra $800 from the base to the EX. Both of the SX trims, though, will give you captain chairs as standard. Also, if you want any heated or ventilated action back here, you'll have to go for the SX Prestige, and that will give you both. You apparently can't get heated seats in the second row, not even as an option on any other trim. And check this out, you've also got yourself some peasant blockers back here. Nice. Now, to get into the third row, you just hit this button right here or this one right up here, and the second row slides forward, making way for you to get into the third row. And once you get yourself back in the third row and get situated, you're working with 31.4 inches of legroom, which is outstanding for this segment. Now, you don't get heated seats in the third row, unlike you do on the Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy, so if that's important for you, then go for the Palisade Calligraphy. Oh, and if you want to Telluride with these dual sunroof things going on here, you'll have to go for either of the two SX trims. Now let's check out the cargo capacity, but before we do, let me show you something really cool. Now, we all know about Kia's Smart Power Liftgate, where you just walk up to the back, and if the key is anywhere close to the cargo area, it automatically pops open. Well, now, for 2023, you also have Smart Power Liftgate Auto Close. So you just, when you're done doing whatever it is that you're doing, you just walk away, and if it senses the key is not close by, it will automatically close itself. That is really cool and very convenient. You don't have to push a button or look like a weirdo kicking in the air. You just have your keys on you and it automatically opens and automatically closes. Now, in terms of space, you're working with a total of 21 cubic feet behind the third row, 46 cubic feet behind the second row, and with both the second and third row down, you have a total of 87 cubic feet. That's pretty good. All right, now before I give you my final thoughts on the new Kia Telluride, let me point out a few important daily ownership highlights that I'll have to show all of you. You have a total of 8 cup holders in here, 2 in the front right there, 2 cup holders in the second row, and then third row passengers apparently get 2 cup holders on each side. And since it's too windy outside, I'm just gonna sit inside and show you the new Kia keys. These look really, really nice. These are very solid, very nice weight to them. And this Kia logo lights up red when you hit any of the buttons, but these are really solid. Door close sound from the outside, and the inside, very solid. Charging game wise, you have a wireless charger, a USB-C and A port right there, and a USB-C port right here in the center armrest. Second row passengers get a USB-C port on the back of each front seat and a household outlet right down here. And third row passengers get a USB-C port on each side. Yeah, I'm all off balance with this wind, but quick indicator and horn sound test before we get into the final thoughts. Indicator first, same old Hyundai Kia Genesis indicator. And now for the quick horn sound. Let me just lower the window a little bit. Horn sound. Very solid. All right, so should you consider buying the Kia Telluride over the competition? Yes, I think this is an outstanding 3-row family SUV. It's comfortable, it's convenient, and more modern than a lot of the competition. It definitely outshines its rivals when it comes to the coolness factor. And by the way, I didn't even mention this Harman Kardon sound system that you have in here. It is absolutely fantastic, and you have this Quantum Logic surround mode that makes you feel like you're in a theater hall or at a concert. It's a really, really good system. I mean, everything in here is really, really well thought out. Like that whole auto close, walk away, tailgate feature. I still can't get over that. That is so convenient. By the way, we didn't even talk about fuel economy yet, but it isn't putting up any great numbers. My all-wheel drive test model here will give you 18 miles per gallon city and 24 miles per gallon highway. I'm averaging, after a few days of driving, a total of 20 miles a gallon. Not bad, but not great either. Again, you don't have a hybrid option for the Telluride, but you do have a Toyota Highlander hybrid, which does some great numbers. But I would like to mention that you can put in regular 87 octane in here, so that's good. You don't have to put premium fuel. Now, what are you working with when it comes to pricing? Seeing as Kia dealers don't kill you on the quote marketing adjustment, you're looking at a starting price tag of $35,890 for the base LX. The EX gives you a lot of what I showed you today, starting at $41,490. And then you can go all the way up to the SX Prestige X Pro for right under $53,000, and that's what I'm driving here. But I would recommend going up to the SX trim if you can, but if not, the EX trim should keep you very well satisfied. I personally think you can leave alone the whole X Line and X Pro trims unless you live in an area where you might encounter some tough terrains that you need to go over. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the KN Telluride. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace. Yeah, I definitely can't get over this interior. It is very comfortable and high quality, and the cool experience with the Harman Kardon sound system with the whole Quantum Pro Logic, Quantum Leap, whatever sound system makes it such a really solid experience in here. Even this fake wood trim feels super real. I gotta say, I am super excited about the Kia EV9. That thing looks gorgeous. If it looks like the concept, that's gonna be a pretty interesting addition to Kia's lineup and the EV segment overall.